And it's a good example of one of my favorite sayings. Perhaps if you don't get the joke, you are the joke.
2023 is 49% complete, and anticipation for the next generation of fighting games couldn't be any higher. EVO is right around the corner, and they tweeted out that Street Fighter 6 has officially broken a franchise and all-time EVO record for competitors. They didn't say the exact number, and that's because registrations is still going on, but we know for Street Fighter 5, the exact number for that is 5,107. So Street Fighter 6 is definitely far beyond that. This number is definitely being driven by that $1 million prize pool. That is motivating the competitive side of the FGC like I never seen before. Competing, but also for an actual prize, an actual something that can really transform your life and a lot of people around you, that is something everybody wants. Even people who are banned. Low Tier God, still banned 3.5 years later. While we're on the topic of Street Fighter, I thought I would mention this because this is not something that a lot of people are talking about. Everyone is praising the game and talking about how wonderful it's doing, but we're not really talking about this aspect. And this aspect is related to the game not working properly. There were some issues during the beta, but now the full game is out, and some of those issues is continuing. They're popping up here and there. One day the tournaments doesn't work. Next day the cross matchmaking doesn't work. You can see all the tweets here. They're doing emergency maintenance. They're having a lot of issues, but the part that I want to highlight is not the issues, but how fast, how rapidly they are addressing the issue, because problems is bound to happen. To assume and expect them to function perfectly is not really realistic. But when something does break or does go wrong, it shouldn't take months to fix. And with all of these tweets, you can see within hours, at most 24 hours, the game is back up and running. And the reason why I wanted to compare this to Tekken 8 is because Tekken 7 has a lot of issues, and those issues took months and months to be fixed, and some of them never was. So I think once Tekken 8 comes out, and also Mortal Kombat 1, there probably will be issues, matchmaking, maintenance, all this stuff, but we see how fast Street Fighter 6 is fixing their problems. I really hope Tekken 8 and Mortal Kombat can do the same. On the topic of Tekken 8, only the best. In September the 8th to the 10th, you will be able to play Tekken 8. Now, I do not think this is going to coincide with any events or whatsoever, because this is so far away. September is after the beta, after EVO, and we really can't even predict what's going to happen there. I think we're waiting to see, one, what the beta does, and then two, what EVO reveals, and then we can kind of get a better understanding. Also, on the topic of regions in different parts of the world, we talked about in a past video how Russia and China and some other regions of the world were banned from the TWT. I showed you guys a tweet that was talking about how China does have a competitive scene. We don't know how big, we don't know how good, and that's partially because they're banned. They're not able to compete against, let's say, a Knee, an Arslan, an Anakin, a Super Akuma. We can't see how they stack up against some of the greats we know, right? But Harada responds to this, and he says, "What province of China is this? I wanted to go and see it. By the way, I will go to China." Someone responds and says, "What day will you be visiting?" And he says Friday. So that's basically today. I don't think this is going to turn into some Tekken 8 whatever. Anytime something happens, Harada tweets or something's, everybody always think like, oh, Tekken 8 announcement. But I don't think he's going to go to China and announce Claudio's trailer. It just doesn't make sense, right? So I just think this is interesting because he's visiting a region that's banned. And maybe he can see something there. He can meet some people. And maybe that's something they bring up. You know, hey, let us in, let us compete. It's a sticky subject, and it's interesting that Harada is visiting. Bandai Namco is at it once again. They just opened up another arcade inside of London. This features 6 individual shops, but the fact that they have some now in the UK, some in Japan, a lot of people are wondering, are they putting these arcades all across the world for Tekken 8, or are they just doing this so people can access their games? And it's really hard to judge. Harada has not ruled it out. I remember he did say that we're only focusing on the platforms that has been announced so far. We have an update to the Gamers 8 esports tournament. This is the $1 million tournament. For those of you who don't know, Spag says the winning team will get $500,000. That's $165,000 per team. It's 3 people, 1 team. If someone wins first place, $165,000 each. That is massive. And in another tweet here, you can see the captains of each team: Knee, Super Akuma, Arslan. and Ash, Shin Akuma, Joey Fury, K-Swiss. This is going to be an incredible event. And now that we're getting kind of close to it, because, you know, it's a few days away, it seems like it's going to be legit, and it seems like it's going to be exciting. And I'm just super excited to see not only the players who've dedicated so much of their lives get like a handsome reward for doing so, but also like it's just pure excitement. A topic that I'm just personally invested in is mods. I watch mods from a distance. You know, I'm a console fanboy, so I don't really have access to it, but I can see all the wonderful things it do, from changing your characters, your stages, your health bar, to even the music. I watch it and just envy. And especially with Street Fighter 6, you can just see all the madness. There's definitely a positive side to the mods, but something that isn't really acknowledged is the dark side. The dark sides to mods is getting crazier and crazier day by day. A tweet that HighBuffGigas retweeted, you have here a person who basically creates mods, but then you have another individual, the most despicable, stealing those mods and then putting them behind a paywall, selling them. Now this is one, highly illegal, and this is something that you can never do with mods. The reason that mods is like available and so widespread is because they're supposed to be free. Selling a mod of Dragon Ball Z, Mortal Kombat, even if you're selling a Street Fighter mod in Street Fighter, that literally goes like you can't do that. That's a no-no. So the fact that this person is doing this for Tekken 7 and they're stealing from someone else, this is once again just that dark side of mods rearing its head. And I don't know how or if the developers can stop this kind of behavior. And I really don't want it to transform into something to where they end up saying stop mods altogether. Over the past 3-4 years, there's been some high profile events where the developers definitely got involved and they say, hey, don't do this, don't do that. We're trying to like let you guys, you know, have your fun, but you guys are pushing it more and more and more every single day. And this is another instance of people pushing the limits, testing the boundaries, and one day that door is going to swing back and mods is going to get hit. And I don't want to see that happen because this is such a important part of Tekken, Street Fighter, and just gaming in general. But when you have people like this who just push and push and push, it's bound to happen. The final thing, I have a tweet here from Arsenal Ash. I have a serious question for everyone because I'm struggling a lot right now. What is your purpose in life? What's your life purpose? For myself, I've always aspired to be a champion, take home EVO trophy, defeat NE, be the finest Tekken player in the world, represent Red Bull, and earn money and recognition. I've completed everything. I'm not sure what I should be doing more. Becoming an EVO champion 4-5 times? I'm not sure, but my motivation is waning. What would you do if you had accomplished everything you had hoped for? I mean, it is true, you know. This guy has literally accomplished everything. He showed up, no name, no sponsor, everyone rooted against him. He defeated all odds and became a multiple time back-to-back. Like he did things that wasn't even possible. He put in whole entire country, a region on the map. What he has been able to accomplish really is nothing short of like a miracle, spectacular, right? But now, where do you go next? After all that success, what do you do? And I kind of resonate with this too, kind of like just as a content creator making videos. There is some times where like I'll make a really good video. The video will get a lot of views, a lot of likes. Everyone will, you know, celebrate that video. But then you make another video, you make another video. And the drive never really stops. It never really ends. And it seems like you're kind of pursuing this thing that can never be achieved. For me, I just try to find happiness in the moment. I know a lot of people say, oh, you really milk the game, and oh, you really like turn any small topic into a video. And that's because I just try to like, I really love editing. It's a passion of mine. And I just try to, you know, just remember that, you know, don't get lost in the numbers or this or that, and just remember why I started. I started because I love it, and I started because I enjoy doing it. It's a passion of mine. And for Arsenal and Ash, I would say the same, you know. Maybe don't necessarily chase EVO titles or chase NE. Just play Tekken because you love Tekken. Tekken 8 is around the corner. Everyone can't wait to play it. And I will say, just go into the game with, you know, fresh eyes. Just experience it and just, you know, play the game for what it is. That's what I'm going to do with content and also with the game itself. I don't know. I resonate with this tweet, you know.